Hello, family, friends, and colleagues. I'm Richard Solomon, and this is my life partner, Jackie Saunders. And we're calling this episode 3, part 2. In part 1, we shared the 6 ways of giving constructive negative feedback, and I'll just remind you what that was by showing this. We shared that ideally constructive negative feedback should be best shared when it is requested, when it's stated in behavioral terms, when it's given to help both the listener and the speaker, when it relates to something that the listener can change, when it's stated as a request, not as a demand, and when it is stated in relative, not absolute terms. And Jackie said, Richard, I think you could do it better. So we're doing part 2, and Jackie's going to be participating in this. All right, Jackie, let's tell everyone. I'll start by saying it happened yesterday when I was meticulously trying to cut an English muffin. And unfortunately, I didn't do it in the best possible way, and it created a little incident. Do you want to say something about that?
And I thought that what had happened after that and how we handled it would be a very good way to demonstrate the CNF in terms that everyone could understand and relate to.
Okay, so the first criteria for handling CNF is sort of asking permission or asking the person if this is an appropriate time to share it.
Okay, and what happened was I noticed that Richard had left a whole lot of crumbs on the floor in the kitchen.
Yes.
From when he cut the English muffin. And I thought this was not the time to bring up the topic because he was on his way out to play handball. He wanted to eat breakfast, get it done, and go play handball. So instead, later that morning, I asked if we could talk about something that happened at breakfast. So I waited and found a better time to have the discussion and asked his permission to do it.
And of course, I appreciated that request, and let's continue the episode. Now, the second condition for giving constructive negative feedback is when it is stated in behavioral terms.
Now, I would not say to Richard, even though I might have been thinking it, I would not say, "You are so messy." Instead, I said to him, when you cut the English muffin, you left a lot of crumbs on the floor.
Which is absolutely true. And by the way, when you receive constructive negative feedback, you honor it, you tell the person you understand it, you don't minimize it, you don't defend yourself. Jackie was absolutely right. The crumbs were definitely on the floor.
But that was describing something that his behavior had caused. Now, I wasn't just giving him the title of, God, are you messy?
Exactly. Now, the third condition is when it is given to help both the listener and the speaker together. It's not designed to only help the speaker.
And I told him that I wanted to talk with him about the English muffin crumbs because I know that we both enjoy having a neat home, neat and clean, as much as we possibly can. So it was going to benefit me and it was going to benefit him.
Absolutely true. I don't like a dirty or messy home. Okay, so the fourth condition is when it relates to something that the listener can change, that I could change in this case.
Now, I would never bring up something as awful as telling Richard that he's short. That's a quality that he can't change. However, I would mention that having a housekeeping habit that needs improvement would be worth him taking into consideration, because that is a habit that he could change.
And I definitely could be neater. Okay, so the fifth condition is constructive negative feedback is given when it is stated as a request, not as a demand.
Now, I did not say to him, "You better not make any more messes in the kitchen." I did not say that. But instead, I said, I would prefer that you consider, when you're cutting the English muffin, do it over the sink. So any crumbs that fall will be in the sink and not make the kitchen a whole mess.
That's right. Great suggestion. And I hope to honor it for some time, but I may mess up, but I hope to honor it in the future. And the last or sixth condition under which to give constructive negative feedback is when it is stated in relative, not absolute terms.
And I did not say, "Richard, you are always messy when you're working in the kitchen," because that's not true. He isn't always messy. But sometimes you need reminders or suggestions when you're working in the kitchen.
So here we are doing together for the first time, and it's wonderful and it's fun. We've shared the 6 conditions under which to give constructive negative feedback, and we hope that you discuss this with your friends, with your colleagues, with your partners, with your teammates, with your workmates, everyone, because we all can use feedback, constructive negative feedback. It helps relationships tremendously, but it's very, very important to know how to share it in an appropriate way. And equally important, it is very important for us to tell our partner when he or she gives us constructive negative feedback that we appreciate what they said. We hear what they said. We understand what they are saying. Now, in our next episode, we'll be going over a new relationship skill called Constructive Corrective Feedback, CCF. Now, if you want a copy of the 6 conditions in which to give constructive negative feedback, you can find that information out on my Facebook page. This broadcast is also being done through TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Now, if you want to contact me, just email me at rdsolomonphd@gmail.com. And if you want to email Jackie, it's Jackie Saunders, SONDERS, @gmail.com. We want to thank you so much for listening to our broadcasts, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.